Hello and welcome back to the 6th episode of my image editing series, and today we will finalize this image and apply some finishing touches and place it into the manga panel. As I said after my last episode, this is going to be the final episode of my image editing series for at least 2 weeks, because I want to concentrate on making more pages at a faster rate, because I have to admit that this commentary series takes up way more time than I expected, and I'd rather spend the time on making more pages faster than making more commentary, at least for now. And I will definitely come back to this because I think it's fun, and just have a little patience. All right then, let's get started. We will start by fixing the bottom side of her hair and apply a generous mask around her hair, at least until the shoulder height, and let's not go overboard with it because the inner side of her hair is pretty much acceptable already. And we hit generate and see what the AI can do with it. I expect this not to take many generations. Again, 6.5 denoising strength seems to be the go-to, only masked. Let's go. After around 3 generations, I got this image with very dynamic positioning of her hair, truly supporting that she is walking forward. I also like how it refined a little bit of the background so that there is like a transitioning of the more blurry clouds on the left side and the more detailed cloud on the left side. Left, right. Rocket science. The more blurry clouds on the right side and more detailed cloud on the left side. And this applies like a perfect transition. I also like the color of the sky here in the background to give a little bit more contrast between her hair and the clouds. This is perfect. I'm very satisfied with this result. So I loaded it back in so we can refine her dress, because I think it's a little bit on the low resolution side yet, because the last time we rolled on this dress, we did it on a pretty large frame of reference, which probably had to render at more or less full resolution. And we got a little bit of compression of detail here. So let's re-roll this, but apply a low denoise because we don't want details changed. We just want a little bit more attention to it applied and make it pop a little bit more. And there we have it. As you can see, the outlines are now very sharp, very pronounced in comparison to the lower part of her dress, which is still on the old resolution, so still a bit blurry on the outlines. You can immediately see the difference in detail between the upper part and lower part, so we're gonna repeat the same process for the lower part to up the resolution. And this is the upscaled version of the lower part of the dress. As you can see, sharp outlines and a lot more definition to it. Also, I think it looks a little bit more dynamic this way because it accentuates her left leg being pushed forward. Great. Let's continue with the face. I will load the image back in, and then we can mask her head and hope that the AI will not mess up the position of her bangs, because I corrected that manually, and I will probably have to re-roll at least a few times just so the AI doesn't change it back to the left side, because the contrast between her skin and her hair color is very low, and the AI might have trouble differentiating between the color of her hair and her skin, so it will apply a little bit more freedom and basically do what it wants. which is quite bothersome, to be honest. But we will try it out and let's see where it goes. I apply a little bit more here so that the AI has a little bit more freedom to extend her nose if it wants to. So let's hit generate and see where it goes. Add a little bit of denoise. Unfortunately, our generations had the tendency to mess up the connection between the father and the mother's face a little bit too much. This is because the denoise setting is very high and I didn't prompt the father at all. So we are going to fix this by separating the mask a little bit and apply the mask for the face only to the actual head and everything that is not connected directly, and re-roll the part that connects the father and her face at a low denoise in a second attempt. And we got this image out of it, which has the side-swept bangs, has beautiful outline and very nice eyes as well, with lots of eyelashes and detail. I like this a lot. I probably don't even need to re-roll her eyes afterwards because I like this already. This is very beautiful. We're just gonna re-roll this part here so to get the blurriness out and fix it a little bit at a low denoise. And then we're basically done here. So load it back in and apply the last couple of edits. And we potentially have to fill this one with orange color in GIMP before doing this, but we'll try it out without. Maybe it works. And we ended up getting this image, which I like very much. I had to apply the dot trick on this cloud over here because when I was just marking this area, the AI had a tendency to apply such a high resolution to this area that the lips were very pronounced in every generation. So I had to extend the frame a little bit to reduce the attention to detail on the lips. And this is basically the perfect middle ground between some pronunciation on the lips, but it's not style breaking because so far there wasn't much attention on lips in my images, so I wanted to not overdo it in this image. So last thing we need to fix is the color on this spot here, and obviously we shouldn't be able to see the shirt of the man between her hair strands, and we will do this in GIMP because it's much faster than trying to use InPaint for this process. So let's go and not waste time here. Let's go. We will fix the remaining inconsistencies. We will just apply a color correction to this part. We use the color mode so that we don't actually paint over this part, but we just change the color of it. And then we're gonna apply the cloud color to this place, but this time we can't use the color correction mode. This time we actually have to paint over it, which I'm probably gonna do with the lasso tool. And darkening alone is not enough. And yep, Okay, alright. Because I'm lazy, I'm not going to fix the line art myself. I will just put it into Stable Diffusion again and fix the line art with another in-painting process over this. Just this part and very low denoise setting. At least this was what I planned to do, but Stable Diffusion insisted on giving me the shirt color for this part, or applying some random blue. And because of this, I ended up fixing it in GIMP myself. I applied a little bit of anti-aliasing filter to the outlines, applied a little bit of color gradient, and this took me like 3 minutes, so I don't know why I even wanted the AI to fix it when it was so fast and quick to do it myself. I also added a little bit of shading underneath her fingers, simply because the thumb had this shading and I wanted to reflect that on the bottom side. And adding shading like this is pretty easy if you just use the darkening mode of the brush, so you can actually paint over the outlines and not cover them up. So this was like half a minute of work. This is the final image, which I am very happy with, and I will apply it into the manga page now. So let's copy it in. We scale it to 50% as we planned. Put it into the correct position and put it behind the panel layout, and now we can see that the panel is a little bit too far extended to the top side, because we don't want the eyes of the father visible, because as we planned out on our storyboarding, we want him to be basically just an existing background piece in this image, and the focus is meant to be on her. So we are going to reduce the size of the panel a little bit. And cut the image, and this is the final result and the matched image into the manga panel, and I think it turned out really beautiful. I'm very happy with this, and I can't wait to apply the rest of the images and the color gradient that we planned and see if how the page turns out at the end. But by the time you see this video, the page will already be out, because I scheduled these uploads simply because YouTube kinda forces you to do it, and yeah, I'm gonna comply with YouTube, because if I don't, then nobody's gonna see this. So you know the drill. Maybe do some button clicking below the video, and yeah, I would really appreciate that. Anyway, I hope we will see each other again in the next video, which will probably be in like 2 weeks. And until then, I hope you don't forget your root vegetable. Eat your greens, mow your lawn. Bye!